Hi everyone, welcome to Campfire Conversations. And my name is Trudi and I'm here with Claire Warden, wonderful Claire Warden from Perth in Scotland, not Perth, Australia.
I know, not quite as sunny, eh?
And I've had the pleasure of spending a whole week with Claire on an international study tour of the UK and Ochlo Nature Kindergarten, which was wonderful to visit. And Claire, you've been doing your PhD on nature pedagogy and what that new concept is. Mm-hmm. And so in Australia we've started hashtagging nature pedagogy all over the place, but it's a new word and we're not quite sure what it means and what your vision is for the use of that word in the international community.
Surely, I think for me one of the things about nature pedagogy is that it's a way, I suppose, of going beneath some of the models of education that you see. So, as I travel around the world, one thing you see is people starting to define their practice by labels. So you've got forest school, you've got bush kinder, you've got nature groups, you've got all of these different types of models, and they're all valid and they're all different, but they're on a continuum of practice. And so that means that we can say to people, all right, through the nuances of time and the way you use time and see time within your provision, the way that you explore space as a concept with yourself, but also with children and community, the way you consider the resources that you use and the mindfulness and the intentionality of those. And then the fourth dimension, I suppose, is the adult role, which is absolutely key, irrespective of the space or the time you're allowed. It all roots back to relationships. So what I've been looking at is more of the concept of mesh work, this interrelationship of something that sits below all of those things. And that for me is nature pedagogy. So it's not as simple as just saying, well, pedagogy is teaching, nature's that, so it's teaching about nature. My PhD really has, it's called the art of being with nature. And those little tiny words mean huge things. Mm. So the art is about our creativity and connectedness and synergy with the earth. Being is about taking time to be and be rooted and to be intentional about our space as a human species in a bigger system that is the earth. And then the with is again connecting to that, but it's also with in terms of with nature means we need to define what nature is. And it's ironic that we're sitting here in the middle of a city, because it's here, it's right behind me.
Yeah,
but it's
also
on top of a mountain
as well.
it's all over us.
Within it.
So with nature is this synergistic way of seeing ourselves as a connected part. And so when that's manifested into our practices, we're not just simply looking for ideas, but we've got a very strong pedagogical basis of value and a belief structure that helps us make decisions.
And that could look different for different organisations and schools and kindergartens, because they have different values and different foci on those 4 different areas of...
Yeah, totally. And so if you took those 4 little elements, and what we did within the research was to say, here are the 4 different elements. And so how is it that the fish-on and the change within those 4 things affects how education is portrayed? And I think it was Churchill, I think, that said, first of all, we build buildings and then the buildings build us. And that's what we've done in the Western world, is that we've kind of seen education as being attached to a building. Whereas a lot of my work within the PhD has been looking at Indigenous groups and people who haven't seen buildings as being as significant within their culture. So it's meant that they have a freedom and a fluidity, perhaps, a spiritual, a cultural connection to that we could learn a lot from, actually. I think.
And it's part of the idea to kind of grow through that continuum. So to start where you can,
totally,
with your own context, and then from there sort of grow through experimenting and developing your own practice of nature pedagogy to move into a deeper form of connection and learning.
Totally. Yeah, and when people say to me, well, I am or I am not, one of the facets around that is that creates division. And there are so many things opposing our connection to nature that actually we need to band together. We need to be quite strong in what we're doing.
Great. Thank you so much, Claire, for that conversation and clarifying it a bit more.